Sergio Perez got humbled and was humiliated at the Mexican Grand Prix by none other than Liam Lawson. And in this video, I'm going to show you that this is exactly what Red Bull wanted. If you watched the Mexican Grand Prix, you obviously noticed that Perez had a rough weekend at his home race. But one thing that really grabbed the audience's attention was that moment when Perez clashed with Lawson, even with a little contact at the beginning of the race. And Perez was clearly annoyed by that contact, especially since there's so much talk about Lawson being the guy who might replace Perez at Red Bull next year. It's ironic, right? The very guy competing for your spot is the one touching your car. It's bound to create tension. So, what happens? Perez gets irritated, thinking Lawson wasn't being very fair with his position on the track. And when they met again, Perez started blocking Liam Lawson on the track. Exactly what you heard. Perez slowed down significantly in certain corners, completing, for example, lap 40 almost 2 seconds slower than usual. The telemetry actually proves that Perez deliberately changed his performance during that time, specifically to block Lawson. So yeah, Sergio Perez was essentially degrading himself against an AlphaTauri, which even caused some damage to Lawson, forcing him into the pits and losing all his progress in the race. Basically, Perez put himself in a humiliating position against Liam Lawson. Perez's performance has been on a downward trend for a long time now. I've been talking about it on the channel for ages. It's not new, not just a 2024 thing. It's sad to see what's happening with Perez, but the truth is, it's just unsustainable at this point. But it doesn't stop there. The fact that he ended up humiliating himself by messing with Liam Lawson only adds to the shame Lawson put him through. Going head-to-head with a Red Bull and even flipping Perez off, Lawson, despite apologizing later, managed to hit a peak of embarrassment for Perez in his home Grand Prix. He got schooled by the guy rumored to be replacing him, a guy with a much inferior car who then flips him off, just for good measure. And remember, Lawson's new to F1. He doesn't come with any future star label. He's a good driver but didn't come in with that big promise stamp. Sure, maybe he'll surprise us, like Colapinto is, but he's not got that badge of being a huge F1 prospect. And here he is, showing up, even flipping Perez off. And if you thought it ends there, you'd be wrong. Yep, Red Bull's handling of this has caught the media's attention. Even though Lawson was called in by Christian Horner after the race to explain himself, Red Bull themselves have been noticeably neutral when talking about the incident. That weighs a lot against Perez, simply because Red Bull is practically staying out of it, a situation between their senior driver and a young newcomer. It's like Red Bull is almost showing approval for this confident, quick, and maybe even aggressive attitude from Lawson, which is just earning him more points over veteran Sergio Perez. So, if Perez's season wasn't already bad enough, here you've got Red Bull sort of giving a pass to Liam Lawson. Normally, with other teams, the bosses would step in, saying something like, "The young driver was wrong, he shouldn't have done that, he should respect the senior team and senior driver." But not Red Bull, and it's surprising, really surprising. Apparently, there was no team order for Lawson to go easy on Perez, to let him pass, or even to avoid fighting him. It seems there was no team order, meaning Red Bull might just be stirring things up, maybe because both cars were outside the points zone, setting up a real competition for that Red Bull seat that, by the looks of things, might go to Lawson next year. And when I say, by the looks of things, it's because rumors are already out. Christian Horner's interview hints at Perez not even finishing the season at Red Bull, which I find hard to believe. I think, for contractual reasons and even for Perez's commercial impact in Mexico, he'll stay till the end of the season. But now there's this rumor, and remember, just a rumor, that Perez might even do Las Vegas, Abu Dhabi, and Qatar races for another team, or maybe he doesn't do any. Maybe they just let Perez go, and Lawson takes over the main team. What they'll do with AlphaTauri, who knows? But the rumor is that in the last 3 races of the season, Liam Lawson might already be subbing in for Sergio Perez at Red Bull. And that would be it for Perez. It'd be the end of the line, the last nail in the coffin, because there's no defending Sergio Perez anymore. He started back in 2021, and we thought, oh, he just needs a bit of time. And he even had some decent showings in 2021, and in 2022, he fluctuated a lot and wasn't the season's runner-up, even with a fantastic car in the second half. In 2023, he almost lost second place to Lewis Hamilton with an incredible car, too. And now, in 2024, he's getting outperformed. As I keep saying in these videos, he's the weakest of the 4 big teams, so out of those 8 drivers, Perez is consistently the worst. He usually only stays ahead of a direct rival when they have to abandon or run into serious issues. You can see he's just not at the level a top-tier driver needs to be at. Sergio Perez just can't deliver that performance anymore. He was the right fit to hire back in 2021 because he was coming off a strong 2020 with Racing Point, still making some sense in 2021, defending well against Hamilton, scoring good points. But from 2022 onwards, Perez's performance has sharply declined, never even posing a threat to Max Verstappen. Contrary to what some think about Perez being sabotaged or something, no, Verstappen is just a way better driver. Perez is good, but Verstappen is a genius, and that difference is huge on the track. And now, with Lawson challenging Perez, it's clear, if anyone had doubts, Lawson deserves that spot much more than Sergio Perez, or even Tsunoda deserves it more than Perez. There's no doubt anymore after the Mexican Grand Prix. Lawson's middle finger to Perez says it all. It's legendary and telling of what's happening in the Red Bull camp. So, let me know what you think of this whole situation down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you next time.